Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Power Play podcast. We are pleased today to meet somebody called Michael Wilson. Michael is the co-founder of a business called Bicester Maids. This is a cleaning business that is all things to cleaning, according to the website. Michael and his team focus on domestic cleaning, commercial cleaning, biohazard removal and cleaning. And the company exists because he and his lovely wife, Lucinda, founded it together. So this is a proper family business. Michael, welcome to the podcast. We're really grateful to have you here today. Why don't you tell us all about it, mate? Tell us where you started, where you came from, and what's brought you to the stage. We're all ears.
No, actually, thank you very much for having me on here. So I'm actually Michael Wilson. So I actually co-own Bicester Maids, actually cleaning company. We actually started it in 2014.
Okay.
And it's been going, I think we're coming up to about 9-10 years we are.
That would be
Whereabouts.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years it's coming up to. So we do a range of cleaning services we do. So we offer domestic, commercial, bar hazard, and then we do ovens, carpets, and we're also adding more and more services in-house, which is done by myself, which we're going to be adding pest control, hoarding. So we've got a whole range of services that we can offer to our actually customers. So it's like one-stop shop it is for them.
Well, first thing is we better book you to come to our house and come and sort it out, because it sounds like we need your help. So yeah, thank you for laughing at my rubbish jokes, Michael. It's really important.
All right.
So tell us about that. You mentioned there you're expanding your array of services, right?
Yeah.
So are you expanding the team, or are you taking the strain yourself, or how is it working?
So at the moment, with the biohazard side, it's myself and my actually wife, actually Lucinda, that does it together. So that could be ranging from road traffic accidents to flood cleanups. It could be ranging from a full works like a flood damage. So it's a full range of works it is. So me and my wife actually do that. So we could have a call out at 2 o'clock in the morning that we have to head to London, that there's been an RTA, so someone has to get the road open, get London flowing again, sort of thing. And then we're adding the pest control on, which will be done by myself at the moment. And then the hoarding will be done by Lucinda, it will be.
Right.
So she's near enough finished her course, so she'll be CPD accredited, she will be for that. And then I'm halfway through my pest control at the moment. So
it's very much a hands-on business at this stage. You guys are leading the charge, yeah?
Yep, we've been leading it since 2014. We've always been at the forefront of it, and we're still actually hands-on now. We are, sort of thing.
Yeah, and the other sides of the business, then the domestic cleaning, the commercial cleaning, who's executing that work for your customers?
That would be the staff that we've got in place now. We've got 10 members of staff. We have part-time and full-time.
Fantastic.
So they're carrying out that side. They are more or less for us. So they're like, now that we've built up the domestic and commercial side, they're running that side. We're overseeing it as a day-to-day. We're trying to build up the biohazard side because you have to try and break through it, sort of thing you do to get in there. Like you have to network, you sort of make people aware of what services you can offer, like who can you turn to, who can sort of sort it out for you.
That's fascinating. So it sounds to me as though you're proving a market, you're entering it, you're proving it, you're getting some traction, and then you're building a team from there. So is that the vision and the plan then for the for the new markets you're entering? Are you going to eventually, you and Lucinda will stop doing the cleaning and other people will? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, so eventually is that we will stop doing it, and then we will start adding a team as we get sort of bigger.
That makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes sense. So we're still small, we are, but we're not small as they say. So we've still got a sort of biggish team to take out most sort of areas, but we've never managed to get out of Bicester sort of thing to advertise because we're so busy in actually Bicester every day.
So let's stop there for a minute, right? Because we're going to talk about marketing in a little while. But what a fantastic comment you've just made, Michael, because there's people watching this video right now, okay, that
Mhm.
are trying to market their product 20, 30, 50, 100 national, miles away. Whereas in reality, when you do often with small businesses, when they're focused and they're really well structured and set up, there's probably £1 million to turn over within half an hour's drive of you, right? It's there.
Yeah,
You just got to figure
yeah,
out how to get at it. Okay,
yeah.
so tell me, we got to just remind ourselves here, Michael, that the people watching this program are exactly or doing exactly what you and Lucinda have done. They're great people with a vision. They've decided to start a business up. They may be 1 year in, they might be 10 years in, they might be 20 years in, but the point is they're battling with the same things that you have done and are. So can you go back 10 years? What what triggered you to start the business? Why did you guys step over the line into business ownership?
So I was working as a delivery guy, driver's mate, as they call it, during the night. So then I actually got myself a second job I did where I took over from Lucinda. She was cleaning some offices, she was. So she left to move into care. So I took over that job and I really enjoyed cleaning, I did. So I thought, oh, this is really good. Sort of
Okay.
thing. It's nice, sort of thing, cleaning offices it was. So it's just nice leaving, the area is nice and clean. When you walk in, I think it was like a construction office it was. So you'd go in, be mud, cement and stuff, but you would just sort of finish and you know that you've done a good job. So I quite enjoyed that really. Then you see their face once you're halfway through that, oh wow, look, it looks good, sort of
Oh, that's
thing.
great. Yeah.
So then we decided that to sort of start actually Bicester Maids we did. And then when I first had the idea that I actually still carried on working nights, but I wouldn't sleep during the night, that I'd carry on during the day to try and build the business up.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'd work all night and then I'd come home and then I'd go out and do a couple of domestic cleans every day just to try and get them up and running, sort of thing. That
So
you'd
you've
put,
put it, you've put a shift in, haven't you? You
I've
work.
put like 2 shifts in one. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's commitment again. I don't know how old you are. I could hazard a guess. Don't want to go there, Michael. But the point is,
All right.
you're clearly coming from a what's the word? A position of you don't get anywhere without putting a shift in. You've got to do the work,
Mhm.
haven't you? That's
Yeah.
interesting. So tell us about how you expanded your business then. So you and Lucinda have got it going. You've had your entrepreneurial seizure. You've decided to now stop working for the people, but to do it yourself. So what ways did you market Bicester Maids? How did you get it across?
So when I first started it, I'm all new to it. I was like, oh, let's get it big, 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 big sort of thing. Let's, have a team of 100 people sort of thing. And
Yeah,
then when I tried to market it sort of thing, I thought to myself, oh, where am I going to get this marketing from? How am I going to get customers? So I actually sort of went onto Facebook, started up a Facebook page, advertising like that I did. And then I got a few customers, which I had like two or three. So I'd clean them before I started my night shift. I'd go in their house, like say a Friday, I've got night shift on Friday, and I'd clean just to try and get it up, I would sort of thing, just so I can build the customer base. But at that time, it was word of mouth, Facebook, and then all of a sudden, I managed to flip it and change it quite quick, sort of thing. Like then Facebook was getting really busy, like when you advertise on the local pages, everybody's looking for a cleaner. And then it got so sort of busy that I had to then have a look at staff to help the
interesting.
area. Yeah.
So did you sit down and write a plan out? Did you create like a marketing plan or a business plan?
No, if I tell you the truth, I've got no managerial skills. Uh, when I left actually sort of school, that I had really bad grades, but the only good thing that I loved at school was actually business studies, which I did really well in.
Right. Yeah,
That
you
was
were an
the only
entrepreneur, aren't you?
thing that I really done well in with my GCSEs, that I got really well in that. Everything else was really bad grades, it was, but it was only business studies. And then that's what I always wanted to do, run a
What did you
business.
put it down to? What do you put it down to? Where's that coming from? Is that a love of look? Work with me on this. Is it a love of monopoly, or is it a love of money, or is it what is it? What's attractive about business?
Everybody, like if you ask somebody now, what actually motivates you to get your business? A lot of people say actually money, but
Yeah,
mine is not money, I'd say, which you do need money for business. I'd say the happiness of helping other people, sort of with their sort of actually cleaning, I'd say. Like you can see their face once you finished, they're really happy. Like you could get some elderly people, you could get some people that's got actually disabilities that are struggling. And it's just seeing them when you go and do your first initial visit, and you go through everything with them, they're actually just relieved that we've actually helped them or actually maybe trying to help them.
you know when you get an inquiry
Yeah.
for a new bit of business, a potential new customer. If you've got 10 of those, let's say, how many of those, be sort of realistic and honest with your answer, if you don't mind, Michael.
Yeah.
What percentage of the 10, how many of the 10 would you expect to bring on board as a customer?
I'd say I'd always try and bring on at least 10, I'd say, but sometimes you can only bring on about 5 of them, I'd say.
So you'd aim for all of them, but in
I'd aim for all of
reality,
them, sort of thing. People sort of look at me now and they're like, "You're a very good salesperson," because I'm actually quite good at sort of actually going to meet the person and I always connect with them, sort of thing. So you're trying to sell your actually business and also yourself. So
that's
when I
good.
go and actually meet them myself, whenever I do the house view, as we call it, like a meet and greet, we'd always go and meet them, which would be myself, and I'd go through everything with them so they know that I'm the person that co-owns it. I'm the person that they see at the forefront. Sometimes they might see me doing their cleaning when actually we're short-staffed, which I wouldn't say that I'm always behind the desk, as they say, that I'm out on the tools helping. But
Brilliant.
I'd say that I always try and get the 10.
So let's just reflect there for a minute for everybody that's watching or listening. So what Michael's saying is that we've got an ambition for 100% conversion. So if we've got 10 opportunities, we want 10 customers. But in perhaps in a practical sense, your minimum that you'd expect would be 50%, half of them. But then you said, which I think is great, there's an ambition there. And I would say, as a business coach, don't forget there's a big gap between 5 and 10. I mean, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are also worth having, right? But I think the what was really interesting as well was to say that you're identifying the ability for you to connect with the potential customer.
Yeah.
Because if they can't buy you, um, it's unlikely they're going to buy the product, isn't it? And
Mm.
again, there'll be people out there. I can imagine, can't you, Michael, a room full of 30 business owners, and you say to them, right, hands up, everybody that's a salesperson, and you'll get probably like 5 or 6 that will put their hands up. I bet you'd put your hand up. You would put your hand up and go, I'm a salesperson. Absolutely, I am. Because if you're not selling, you're not in business, are you?
Yeah, which is true. Yeah, you have to sell to be in business, and you're selling your services to them.
Exactly. Exactly. But you can't do that till you've sold yourself. So I think there's a great lesson in there for everybody watching. That's brilliant. Okay, so we've established that we don't have clear business plans written down. We don't have a clear marketing plan, but you clearly have a feel. You've clearly got a plan. Probably it's in your minds. Probably so on that basis, where are you and Lucinda taking this thing then? Think like 5 years down the line. Help people understand how you're thinking in terms of your ambition and your scale. What do you want from it?
I'd like to see more growth in it, I would, to try and expand out into the bigger areas, because we've not touched any of the bigger areas, sort of thing. We've not managed to get out of the areas that we've been in for the last couple of years because we're really busy in this main one area where actually we're based. But I'd like to see it in 5 years' time where we've got more staff, more vehicles out on the road, taking on more domestic, more commercial, more biohazard, and trying to add more and more services in-house so we can offer like a one-stop shop, like actually business to people. So then they haven't got to find this person, they haven't got to find that person, they haven't got this invoice, this invoice. It's all one and it's all one bill for them.
Fascinating. So what's what's your number one lead generator then? Where does all this business in the future come from? Is it, are you driving traffic to your website, or is it social media, or how are you doing it?
So I'm gonna be honest, and I might as well as a business owner.
Oh,
So all of our actually our because our actually work comes from actually the actually vehicles that we've got. They're all sign written. We have 5 actually vehicles which go out every day. You'll see them. They're all yellow. They're all like bar hazard vans. They stand out, and everyone's looking. They are as you're going past.
great
The other one is word
marketing.
of mouth. Is actually word of mouth. The other one is Facebook, social media. And sometimes we've only just started now to use Google. We have like actually Google Ads to try and
Mm,
get traffic
mm,
into the
mm, mm.
website. But at the moment, we try not to advertise as much because people come to us more than we can get ourselves out at the moment. We're finding we're having so many leads every day. We are for actually domestic carpets or ovens or end of tenancies. We've not got chance to advertise because we've got the work
You're
coming
so
in and
busy.
it's a
Yeah.
big flow.
Imagine what you could do when you really turn the marketing up, right? I
Yeah.
mean, so I guess that brings us to the subject of team, doesn't it? Because you're doing something that many small businesses don't, I would say, don't find easy, and that is the winning of work, the generation of opportunities. So well done on that. So to translate that into your business, to be able to open up the potential, clearly you need to find more people. So how do you go about recruiting them? Where do your employees typically come from? Are you using Indeed, or are you finding other methods? How does it work, Michael?
So we use Indeed as the main source.
Cool.
So Indeed, we do get some good people coming from there. Sometimes we do put it on the local, actually, sort of, I think it's the jobs page, which is a local
Yeah.
Facebook jobs page for the local area, which is
Okay.
nice to get local area people that's been in the area, they know the area.
Good.
So at the moment, our office is in like a village. It is. We have a lady that lives in the village that works for us. We have a couple just outside of the village, and then we have most of our staff that live in the area that we're in at the moment. So they're all actually local,
Cool.
and it's mainly Indeed and mainly Facebook.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what would be the biggest barrier, would you say, to fulfilling your potential? You and Lucinda's potential. You clearly have a lot of potential. So, whatever your turnover is today, in 5 years' time, whatever number you see as a dream, as a goal, what would be the biggest barrier, would you say, that may prevent you from getting there?
Um, I can't see any barrier at the moment. I can't. The At the moment, the barrier is not there at the moment. At the moment, I can't see any barrier at the moment for it. As I'm sort of visualizing it in my head now, I am of where I want to be in the next 5 years. Trying to
Excellent.
think about it now. There is no barrier at the moment stopping us. I can see it in the reach, and I know that I can grab it and go for it.
I think it's impressive what you're saying. Your feet are on the ground, aren't they? You've got yourself, I think, a very humble, what's the word, culture, if you like, or way of expressing what your business is all about. We'll talk a little bit more about culture in a minute, but I think what I do want to underline there for everybody is ambition, right?
Mhm.
Ambition. So I would say that you and Lucinda are ambitious people, because you've come from where you started to where you are. And it's clearly from 2 people to 10 employees, and you're pushing, and you're growing, and it's fantastic. But I would say to you, and I would say to anybody watching, if you don't see barriers to growth, barriers to success, maybe you're not being ambitious enough. The point being is, if you lift the bar and you aim higher, you will start to see, how do we overcome that? How do we overcome that? And the key point there is that as you break down those barriers, that's where the growth comes from. That's where the expansion comes from. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
So
does make sense.
I think everybody watching, that's really a good opportunity to say, look in the mirror. Are you being as ambitious as you should be? Because you've clearly got the potential here to do something really special. Very interesting. So let's talk a little bit about culture now. So, what would you say the number one value is of Bicester Maids? What's the one word or the one sentence that you would say sums up what you guys are all about?
We're all about service, really, offering a good service.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so we'd always say that make sure that we offer a good service, always good value for money, um, but mainly the service, really. Always offer a good service to your customers, so then they will come back as like actually regular customers, keep using you, and then they might tell their friends. So every time you offer a good service, it means that you will always get good productivity from them back in return.
and how do you translate that? What one of the things that we also talk a lot about on this program is that the values and the culture in your business will be a reflection of you guys. So that's coming from you and Lucinda, right? That commitment to give a service. This is the man that had two jobs and that loved leaving people with a tidy office. Do you know what I mean? That's like a commitment to service right there. So your team are reflecting those values in how they're working. So how do you make sure that's the case? How do you manage them?
Yeah, so we always manage them every day, so they go out. We always do checks on them just to make sure that they're happy, and we always give feedback to them, and they give feedback to us.
Excellent.
And
Yeah,
then
that's
it's
brilliant.
always good to make sure that a actually happy team is always good, as they say, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, there's points there to break down for everybody. I mean, the fact that you check in them every day, the fact that you give them feedback and you allow them or request from them feedback to you. It's a two-way street of flow. With very few people out there doing that, Michael. I want to say lots of small businesses are great at abdication. They will manage. This is what we call management by hope. So they just hope that everybody's doing what we've told them to do. But it doesn't sound like you're doing that, which means that you're following the delegation route, not the abdication. And delegation's not easy to do because you've got to stay close. You've got to stay in there,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, that's interesting. So what happens when you've got a tricky employee then, Michael? When something's not going right, somebody's not quite following those rules of the game. They're it will happen. I'm sure it's happened to you. What do you do? Do you train them? Do you educate them? Do you get the stick out? What do you do?
So but we don't get the stick out, so I must say
Oh,
that
okay, all
if
right.
anyone's watching it, sort of thing. I think we'd get into trouble nowadays. We would. But if somebody is actually struggling with their actually sort of actually job, then uh, every single morning we always see our actually team before they go out. So we always say good morning, bits like that, any actually sort of feedback, stuff like that. We have a chat just to say this. We always actually have a chat, we do. But if they were really struggling with, like, say, doing their actually sort of actually duty, as we call it, then I would offer to go out with them, retrain them, go through everything just to make sure that they're happy. Then we check in on them again just to make sure everything's okay with
Brilliant.
them. So
So
we always say that,
you're staying close, right?
yeah,
You're staying
we're really
close.
close to them. We are, yeah, sort of thing. Like we see them every morning, then they come back every night. So we do see them, and then any issues they have, they would always let us know. And any issues, vice versa, we'd say to them, this, or they'd say this. We said that's absolutely fine. And then we always keep the communication going between us and the actually team sort of thing. So there's always communication. So everyone is always in the loop, like a chain of command sort of thing.
I think that's fantastic. Again, please, everybody that's listening, watching here, pay attention to what Michael's saying. If you're not doing this stuff, well, you get what you deserve, frankly. So how often do you sit down with your team as a group and actually talk to them about what you're up to and where you're going and what's happening?
Sometimes we try every sort of 6 months we do. It sort of depends because of the scheduling sort of thing. Some of them only work part-time, so it's very hard, like the
Nice,
children they've got to pick
nice.
up. The full-timers are okay because they might not have any commitments or anything. So they work to about 5, they do. So it's
Mm.
always a little bit tricky with our sort of job is to try and fit something everything in, it's
Sure.
really tricky. It is. We always see each other up at, like, I think we organise Christmas parties once a year. So that's a good little formal, nice little chat sort of thing. But it's always very hard to try and squeeze everything in with their sort of jobs that they've got, plus also their home time.
Yeah, I see that. I can see that. I mean, do they come into the office in the morning, or do they go straight to site, or?
So we all have vans here for them. So they all come in to get their vans. Every morning
Right,
we see
got you.
them, and we always say morning. We always have our little chats with them. They always
Okay.
see me and Lucinda. How our office is that we've got a reception desk, which has got Lucinda at the front. She's there. We are both there. They can see us, and we're always out and about anyway when they're here, just
You're
to
very.
make sure that everything's good.
It sounds to me like you're striking the balance really well between leadership and management, and leadership being all about the people side of the equation, and the management is the difficult art of getting people to actually do the job that you're hiring them to do, the process. So there's very interesting what you're doing there, Michael. So last question for this afternoon then. What what do you think? I mean, let me reframe the question. Who is it that's helping you run your business? How are you and Lucinda being held accountable to your plan, to your vision? What do you do to make sure that you guys are asking the right questions? Have you got anybody supporting you in that way?
Not really, no. So I'd say that me and actually Lucinda, we're actually married. We actually live together. People are like, oh, actually, really? So me and her do take work home with us, sort of thing. Nobody will ever say, oh no, that we switch off at 5 o'clock. No, so we take work home with us and we still talk about it morning, night, and day. But I'd say no, we haven't got anybody really. Me and actually Lucinda are like sort of Batman and Robin, I'd say, sort of thing
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
Yeah, that we both support each other. We work together, and we're like sort of united as one, I'd say.
I think that again, hats off to you, because you
Yeah.
to be successful in small business, you're going to be far, I want to say, more likely to succeed if you've got a really strong management team in that
Mhm.
context. It can create problems, don't get me wrong, and we see that. But actually, when you're both committed and you're supporting each other, that's a wonderful thing. So congratulations there. It's not by happen chance. It's because of who you are. Um,
Mhm.
but you see, what you're describing, and again, it's interesting for everybody listening here, because this will resonate with